Congratulations, you finally did it. You got the promotion, you switched jobs, you grinded for 5, maybe 10 years, and you finally hit the magic number. 6 figures. The holy grail of the middle class. $100,000 a year. You expected champagne and caviar. You expected to feel rich, but then the direct deposit hit, and you paid your rent. You paid your student loans. You bought groceries. You filled up your car. And you looked at your checking account at the end of the month and realized something terrifying. You're broke. I'm Mark Fletcher, and I'm here to tell you that if you feel like you are earning more money than ever, but keeping less of it than ever, you are not crazy. You are a victim of a quiet economic shift that has completely redefined what it means to be middle class. We are living in a time where earning 6 figures puts you in the top 18% of earners in America, yet 60% of millennials earning over $100,000 are living paycheck to paycheck. This is the 6-figure poverty paradox. It's a combination of inflation, tax bracket creep, and a psychological trap called the Henry syndrome. Today, we are going to autopsy your paycheck. I'm going to show you exactly who is stealing your money before you even touch it. And then, I'm going to give you the specific anti-status budget you need to actually be rich, instead of just looking rich. $100,000 is the new $50,000. Let's figure out how to survive it. To understand why you feel broke, we have to take a trip back in time. Let's go back to 1995. The era of dial-up internet and blockbusters. In 1995, a salary of $100,000 was elite. It was doctor and lawyer money. If you made $100,000 in the 90s, you were flying first class and buying a vacation home. But money is not a fixed value. Money is a measuring stick, and the stick has been shrinking every single year. Let's look at the big 3 costs of living: housing, cars, and education. Since 2000, overall inflation is up about 80%. That's bad. But the things you actually need to buy? Housing costs are up 150%. College tuition is up 180%. Medical care is up 115%. So while your salary might look impressive on paper, its purchasing power has been gutted. If we adjust for inflation using the Bureau of Labor Statistics calculator, earning $100,000 today is the equivalent of earning about $50,000 to $60,000 in the 1990s. You aren't a high roller. You are, historically speaking, an average middle-class earner. Quick reality check. I want you to guess what the median home price was in the U.S. in the year 2000. Got a number in your head? It was $119,000. Today, it's over $420,000. In many major cities, it's over $800,000. Back then, a $100,000 salary could buy a house in 1 year of gross wages. Today, a $100,000 salary takes 4 to 8 years of gross wages to buy the same box of wood and drywall. The game hasn't just changed. The difficulty setting has been turned up to nightmare mode. This is the first pill you have to swallow. You cannot budget like a rich person because mathematically, you are not rich. You have a high income, but you have low purchasing power. Once we accept that, we can stop feeling ashamed and start strategizing. Now, let's talk about the entity that loves your raise more than you do: the government. One of the biggest shocks of crossing the 6-figure mark is the tax reality. When you make $40,000, the government takes a nibble. When you make $100,000, the government takes a slice. When you make $150K, they take the whole plate. Let's run the numbers for a single filer living in a Tier 1 city. Let's say New York, San Francisco, or even Chicago. You signed an offer letter for $100,000. That is $8,333 a month. That sounds like a lot, but that is your gross pay. Gross pay is a fairy tale. We only care about net pay. Federal tax, roughly $15,000 to $17,000. FICA, Social Security slash Medicare. That's another 7.65% off the top. That's $7,650. State and local tax. If you live in a high-tax state, kiss another $6,000 to $9,000 goodbye. So, before you have paid rent, bought food, or saved a dime, your $100,000 is actually roughly $68,000 to $72,000 in take-home pay. That brings your monthly income down from $8,333 to roughly $5,800. $5,800. Now, $5,800 is decent money. I'm not saying it's poverty, but if you are trying to live a $100,000 lifestyle on a $68,000 reality, you are going to go into debt. This is what we call the margins. As your income goes up, your effective tax rate goes up, but your marginal utility of money goes down. The jump from $40,000 to $50,000 changes your life. The jump from $100,000 to $110,000? You barely notice it because $3,500 of that raise disappears into taxes and 401k deductions before it hits your account. Stop! Go get your last 3 pay stubs. Seriously. Look at the line labeled YTD taxes, year to date. Divide that by your YTD gross. That percentage is your silent partner. Most people think they pay 20% in taxes. When you add in sales tax, property tax, and gas tax, most six-figure earners are paying close to 35 to 40% of their life energy to the system. If you don't factor this into your budget, you aren't sprinting. You're tripping at the starting line. So, inflation ate 40% of your power. Taxes ate 30% of your check. But there is a third enemy, and this one is inside your head. Financial planners have a term for this demographic: Henrys. High earner, not rich yet. The problem with being a Henry is that you are surrounded by people who are actually rich, and you can't tell the difference. When you hit 6 figures, you enter a new social stratum. Your colleagues drive BMWs. They wear Arc'teryx jackets. They go to Equinox. You feel a subconscious pressure to signal that you belong to the tribe. This is lifestyle creep. You tell yourself, I work hard, I make 6 figures. I shouldn't have to live in a studio apartment. I shouldn't have to drive a 2014 Honda Civic. So you upgrade. You get the luxury apartment. That's just a normal apartment with a fake granite counter. You lease the Audi. You start ordering Uber Eats because your time is too valuable to cook. This is the trap. As your income rises, your expenses rise to meet it. This is Parkinson's law of money. You might be earning $150,000, but if you are spending $150,000, you are financially identical to the person earning $30,000 and spending $30,000. Actually, you're worse off. Why? Because the person earning $30,000 is used to being frugal. You have built a golden cage that requires $10,000 a month just to keep the lights on. If you lose your job, you crash harder and faster than the broke guy. These are golden handcuffs. They look shiny. They feel nice. But they are locking you into a job you might hate, just to service the debt on a lifestyle that doesn't make you happy. True wealth is not high income. True wealth is low overhead. The lower your overhead, the freer you are. The higher your overhead, the more you are a slave to the paycheck. Let's get specific. Where is that $5,800 of take-home pay actually going? I've audited hundreds of viewer budgets. Here is the typical breakdown of a broke 6-figure earner. Bucket 1. The housing stretch. The old rule was spend 30% of your gross income on housing. On $100,000, that's $2,500 a month. In New York or LA, $2,500 gets you a shoebox, so people stretch. They spend $3,200. That is over 50% of your net pay. When half your money goes to rent, you are suffocating. Bucket 2, the commuter tax. You bought the car to get to the job. Average car payment in the U.S. is $730. Add insurance, $150, gas, $150, and parking, $200 in the city. That car is costing you $1,200 a month. Now you have spent $4,400 of your $5,800. You have $1,400 left. Bucket 3, the ghost of college past. Student loans. If you have a master's degree, which many people needed to get the $100,000 job, you might be paying $600 to $800 a month. Now you have $600 left. This is it. This is your discretionary income. $600 for food, for clothes, for utilities, for phone bills, for internet, for savings. It's impossible. One wedding invite, one flat tire, one medical bill, and you are putting it on a credit card. This is how you go into debt, earning $100,000 a year. It's not because you're buying Gucci bags. It's because the structural costs of your life, house, car, debt, are eating 90% of your net pay. You cannot latte your way out of this. I am so tired of gurus telling you to stop buying coffee. If you save $5 on coffee every day, you save $150 a month. Great! You're still broke. You have a structural problem, not a caffeine problem. To fix this, we have to attack the big three. We have to make uncomfortable decisions about where we live and what we drive. Okay, we've diagnosed the disease. Now let's cure it. How do you escape the six-figure poverty trap? You have to adopt a strategy I call living fake broke. Here is the three-step system to reclaim your wealth. Step 1. The 2015 salary cap. Pick a number from 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe it was $70,000. You are going to structure your life as if you still make that money. The difference between your current salary, $100,000, and your fake salary, $70,000, does not exist to you. It never hits your checking account. Step 2, automate the gap. You need to set up a diversion dam at the source. Go to your HR portal. Set up a direct deposit split. Have 15% or 20% of your paycheck sent immediately to a separate high-yield savings account or brokerage account that is hard to access. If you don't see it, you won't spend it. You force yourself to survive on the remainder. You will complain. You will feel poor. Good. That pressure will force you to innovate and cut costs. Step 3. The 30% net rule. Ignore the gross income housing rules. They are dangerous. Your rent or mortgage should never exceed 30% of your net take-home pay. If your take-home is $6,000, your rent cap is $1,800. But Mark, I can't live in the city for $1,800. Then get a roommate or move further out. I know, it sucks. But do you know what sucks more? Being 45 years old with zero net worth and a heart condition from financial stress. Listen to me. Earning $100,000 is a massive achievement. You should be proud. But income is just the gas in the tank. Net worth is the distance you travel. Don't let the engine idle while you sit in traffic. The money sprint isn't about how much you make. It's about the gap between what you make and what you spend. That gap is your freedom. Protect that gap with your life. If you want to widen that gap, subscribe to the channel for more videos to help you hack the system. Stop acting rich. Start getting wealthy.